just want to talk about, where we've come from and what we're doing right now. This is why we believe what Tapestry is doing right now is literally the best time to be alive and actually have a product that's going to empower the world. So as I said earlier in the presentation, the average consumer is already giving this data away. But then we see a lot of market shifts that are happening where you as a small business owner or you as an average person giving away data, the ground underneath you is really shifting. Things are changing. With us launching this product really October 6th of 2021, in a few short months, Tapestry, thankfully, and we're appreciative, is becoming an authority on data and privacy and putting the consumer first. So you haven't listened to it already. We did do a podcast on Market Watch with best new ideas in money. And there was a ton of economists on the podcast talking about what the future of advertising looks like, what the future of data looks like in this, I'll use buzzwords now, Web3 decentralized blockchain world, where we feel like we're giving so much away to big companies and really not getting compensated at all. Tapestry was highlighted there. Now, if you haven't saw one of our original press pieces as well, it just talks about like what we do with the data, how we monetize it, what the average user actually makes. That's highlighted in the media post. All of this is happening because of you, the user and the affiliate. Through your support, you using our product, ultimately you earning and sharing it with your friends and family, that is happening. Because we expect a future, and this is another article in VentureBeat where we were asked to comment on Meta, right? We were asked to comment on Meta's new metaverse and their future and maybe some of their history. And I was able to comment on kind of what I thought. What I said in this article was maybe a big company like Meta should potentially ask for that consumer's direct consent, right? Would that actually hurt? Because we believe, and our vision is to acquire tens of millions of users with Tapestry, asking upfront, transparently for their permission, paying them for their data, and then monetizing it ethically with brands who will ultimately be responsible with that monetization. And then also highlight some of the change that Google's making, with one of our colleagues here, Tom Bullock on the call was mentioned, where we also see Google making a change towards privacy. Honestly, I think it's actually a good thing. Tom actually had some really good points in this article as well. So in 4.5 months, this app's been launched. We're now considered an authority on privacy because we're doing it with your permission. We're doing it in partnership with people. We're extremely grateful, but we're just getting started. We just had a payout period. Hopefully you earned in that last payout period. Thousands of people got paid. We're working on more products on different platforms. We'll enable even more monetization. And we just think where we're at right now in 4.5 months, think about 90 days from now, think about 6 months, a year from now, for all those affiliates and users who really stick with the product and stick with the program, give us really good feedback, which we ultimately love. We iterate off that feedback and ultimately make our product better. So these are just learnings. If you're interested, I can copy these links, throw them in the chat, and kind of get our perspective on the industry, because that's what we're being asked. Like Walter, Tom, Giorgio, Chuck, and Danny, where do you see the industry going? We see an industry where data is transactable, where if you want to give up a piece of your data, you should get paid for it, unequivocally. Why not? Ultimately, for decades, it's been taken away from you. It's been used against you. You should get paid for it. So thanks for supporting that vision, and we're super excited about that.
We sense there are some significant tailwinds behind us right now. I've talked a lot in the past about headwinds, the headwinds that are created by legislation for privacy, created by Apple and potentially Google, and for us that just means opportunity. As Walter said, we all have a background in data, so we understand what buyers want. We understand what kind of quality of data, types of data that they want, and what drives value. And so with that in mind, we're also looking at ways to move up the value chain. In other words, to take the data that we have today and create products that drive more value. And when we drive more value, our users derive more value. So we're excited about that. Just a couple other points too. Walter mentioned we've been out on the road a little bit. We're going to San Francisco this coming week. We're bringing Tapestri to a conference that's super data focused, and so we're excited about that. And then as far as the media attention that we get, that's just another example of tailwind. When the media starts to pay attention to something, it means there's something there. And so I think we're all excited to have you guys on board to help us create a new path for data.
Well said. Thanks, Tom. I'll give it back to you, Chuck and Danny.
Thank you, Walter. I'm going to take it to Danny in just a minute, but before I do, I just want you to give everybody a quick update on international. We've been talking about international for a while. We've got the 60 countries that are on the table eventually.
Yeah.
Kind of give us an update. What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the map. I have a map right above me, and I want to go live in those countries as soon as possible. The reason we were not releasing more countries just because of the SDK issue, but I think we actually solved it. Knock on some wood here. So we're pretty excited about launching more countries now. So there's 5 countries that I'm thinking about off the top of my head. I'll just rattle off that I'm pretty excited about. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Nigeria, and Pakistan. The countries that we're super excited to go live in. And the reason we didn't launch those is we didn't want to launch those countries and not see daily earning events for those people and those users be frustrated. And especially if those just came from you, our users and our affiliates. So taking your consideration in mind, we didn't launch those additional countries yet, but we are about to. Also, we made a lot of headway on GDPR with Europe. So we're pretty excited about and have more updates to come on launching European countries, which are mainly in GO2. So a lot of good news ahead.